and welcome to my channel. So today's video is one that I have been waiting quite a while to make. This all happened, well, most of it happened back in March, and this is the story of the terrible people who ran my apartment complex. It's gonna be a long one, so let's just go right into this video. So, quick note before we start, I will be glancing down at my phone quite a bit just to make sure I get the dates of when this happened right. But yeah, like I said earlier, it's going to be a long video, so go grab a drink, grab a snack, sit down, listen to the tea about my apartment building, and let's just go right to it. So to preface, this is a huge apartment complex. They have buildings, or an apartment company, whatever you want to call it. They have buildings all across Canada, and when I say that, I mean like hundreds of buildings across the country. I also lived with this same company in a different city, so it is 100% just the people who run this building because I had no problems with the other building in the other city. Okay, so now to explain another logistic of this situation. The heating system is very old in these apartment buildings. Both of the apartments I lived in, it was, I don't even know what it's called. They look like baseboards, but they're heaters. So they're like really close to the ground. I'll insert a picture if I can find one, so you know what I'm talking about. But they're not like a standard house heater. They're like my grandparents had this type of heating. Like they're older heating styles. And there's water pipes inside this heater that run across the entire apartment. And that pipe is the one that is the problem here. So Friday, March 13th, I came home. I live 2 hours away from my parents I used to, because I was going to university, and that's what we're talking about is my university apartment. So I came home March 13th, and at 10:30 p.m. I realized I left my bedroom window open in my apartment. So obviously the leasing office is closed already. I phoned our 24-hour helpline, and I asked them to let the security in to close the window. They said security can't enter the suite if I'm not there. However, someone will close it in the morning. And because I was fully going to drive in, and they said, no, don't worry about it. Someone will close it in the morning. Then on March 14th, so the Saturday, 8:30 p.m. I get a phone call from the leasing office, which the leasing office should have been closed. And I get a phone call from one of them, and they say that there was a flood in my apartment. So my mom phones back around 9 p.m., so like a half hour after I get that message. And there's no answer because, of course, the leasing office is closed. So she phones the 24-hour helpline, and she gets dispatched, or her call transferred, whatever you call it, to the maintenance that is still working in my apartment. And the maintenance told us not to drive in, to come in tomorrow if we wanted to. They were still in the suite ripping the carpet out and drying the place out. I was already freaking out. I was crying on and off all night because I'll insert a video of how I left my apartment, because the only reason I came home that weekend was because we had to be out of our apartments all day Monday. So Monday the 16th, we had to be out of our apartments all day. So I came home so that I could just be driving back on Monday, right? So the reason why we had to be out Monday was pest control was coming to spray down all the buildings. In order for pest control to come, we had to do a preparation. It took me literally 3 hours to prepare my apartment for them to come and spray chemical everywhere. I'll insert that video down below because I did make a video about it. But I will insert the video, if I haven't already, of what my apartment was left like. So Sunday, March 15th, we go in, we drive 2 hours to my apartment, and we get there about noon. And the apartment was a complete disaster. And I believe I have a video of that as well, so I'll insert that now as well. But just to preface, my notes say they had everything moved around. My bed was in the kitchen. The carpet was already ripped out. Everything was moved. And so when we were looking around, I'm like, to preface, I'm pretty attached to my stuff. Like, I know where most of my belongings are. I'm pretty attached to it. I know like, I don't know how else to describe it. I'm attached to my belongings, so the fact that in my mind that some of it would have been wrecked was one thing, but then actually going in and seeing the disaster itself was a completely different ballgame. It was very upsetting. It was a terrible experience. Some of the things that was damaged was the elephant pictures, my beloved elephant pictures, which are actually just sitting in my closet because they're just like stained with humidity. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with them, but I haven't thrown them out yet because I love them too much. The picture above my bed was wrecked. The box spring was sitting in water. When they found it is what they said, which obviously, because I don't have what are they even called? A bed frame. I don't put my beds on bed frames, so even like the bed I'm sitting on right now doesn't have a bed frame. So the box springs just sit on the ground. And obviously anything on the ground, which was half of my apartment, everything from the kitchen and the bathroom was in the bedroom and the living room on the floor. So everything was wet. There wasn't too much damage. We ended up getting $3,000 from the insurance company, I think it was, around there. So not a whole bunch was wrecked, but still $3,000 is a lot of damage. Yeah, it was very disheartening to walk into that situation and see my belongings just soaking wet, dirty because we'll get into it in a little bit. It was just very upsetting. Okay, so this is a long note, so I'm going to read it right off my phone. So my mom goes down to the leasing office to talk to them, and they claim that this is where the story gets fishy. They claim they phoned me at 10 a.m. on that Saturday. So Saturday the 14th, they claim they phoned me and left a message to saying they shut the window. But that she thought, like the leasing lady, thought that it didn't go through. She never called me. I didn't get a message. Even if you did call me and you think that didn't go through, you phone again. That is literally your job, to inform your tenants, which you just did in their apartment. So if the message didn't go through, you try again. Like, I don't know, that just irks me. Because that's an obvious lie to me. Like, I'm not dumb. She then said, the leasing lady then said, everything was fine until around 4 p.m. when the fire alarms went off. So apparently everyone in my apartment building was in the parking lot, which if the fire alarms do go off, that is where we go. So that part is believable. The one thing I don't understand is, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but the one thing I don't understand is they claim the fire alarm went off because water hit the smoke detector but of the suite below me. But here was the water running in his apartment below me. Here is the smoke detector. They're in two different rooms. So that's another lie, because we only have one what did I just call it? Smoke detector. Because all the apartments are in the same layout. We both had a one-bedroom apartment. So his smoke detector was in the same place as my smoke detector, which was in the hallway when the flood was here in the bedroom. So water didn't hit the smoke detector, and I don't believe, I could be wrong, I don't believe if water hits a smoke detector that it sets the fire alarm off. To set our fire alarm off, you have to go into the hallway of the building, not the hallway of your apartment, the hallway of the building, and pull the fire alarm. So again, another fishy thing that they claim. So they went into the suite below me because it was, every time I film, somebody has to phone me. Where was I? They went into the suite below me at 4 p.m. on the Saturday is what they claim, because it was his smoke detector that went off. They found dripping in the bedroom, which again, smoke detectors in our hallways. But they found the dripping down the wall in the bedroom, so they went up to my apartment, because I'm on floor 2, and they found the disaster, is what they claim. Like I mentioned in that little ramble, there is a lot wrong with what they have said, so already it's getting fishy, but that is what they told us when we went in on the Sunday. So my biggest issue is they sent people in to clean without even informing us what was happening in my apartment. So they claim this all happened at 4 p.m. They claim they found it at 4 p.m. And yet we didn't get a phone call until 4.5 hours later. And as I understand, I am a renter. Like, I do not own that property. I rented it. I understand that. What was the leasing lady doing for 4.5 hours while the maintenance, because they're two different people, keep in mind. We have a maintenance crew and then the front desk ladies. Well, not even just ladies. There's men up front too. But we have maintenance crew and front desk crew, and maintenance was working in my apartment, ripping the carpet out, drying the carpet. Well, drying it, ripping it, whatever they do in whatever order. They were in my apartment working. What was the front desk lady doing for 4.5 hours that she couldn't and didn't phone me to tell me that there was not only that there was a flood, but that there was also people in my apartment, people moving my belongings, people ripping out the carpet in the suite that I rent. No phone call for 4.5 hours. I just don't understand what took them 4.5 hours. I get it. They were busy. The maintenance people were busy. But what the fuck was the front lady doing? What was the leasing office lady doing for 4.5 hours? So that's just another thing that does not add up. Like, I have so many theories about what really happened, but we won't even get into that. So my main theory at the time, these notes are fresh from when I was super, super angry. As you can see, I'm still angry, but like these notes that I have on my phone were like real time. I put them down as it was happening. So my first initial thought was they didn't close the window. So the pipe didn't freeze overnight, it froze all night and all day. However, my family thinks, and I also think, they did close the window when they claimed to at 10 a.m. And then my apartment was cold. Because yes, I live in Canada. I'm weird. I like sleeping with my window open. They think that they did close it at 10 a.m., but then they turned my heat on, which then would have burst the frozen pipe. That is probably the most realistic part of it. I would say that's probably what happened, but then, I don't know. I have so many theories. Like, I don't think they found the flood until like 8 o'clock, and that's why we didn't get a phone call till 8:30, but then they claim they found it at 4 so that it didn't look as bad, because it was quite, like, I'm looking at my desk right now, and it like had this much water in it from a teeny tiny pipe about this big. So, I don't know. There's a whole lot wrong with this story. There's a whole lot. There's many holes in this story. So, another thing, this is very unorganized, I apologize, but another thing about the story that doesn't add up is they claim it happened at 4 p.m. on Saturday, and then they immediately called somebody to rip the carpet out because the maintenance people from our building initially were working in the suite. Then they called an outside company, so like a carpet cleaning company or whoever, to come and finish the job. They claim they found it at 4 p.m. Saturday, but the leasing lady, the lady who works in the front office, didn't come up to do her damage report until Sunday at 1 when my mom went down to the leasing office to talk to them. She came back up with my mom to our apartment to do her damage inspection. Almost 24 hours later, after the water was dried, after the carpet was ripped out, after my belongings were moved everywhere. Like, don't you want to do that stuff right away? Like, I know nothing about this type of stuff, but like, almost 24 hours later and you're coming in to do your damage thing when half the shit is ripped out and thrown over my balcony? Like, it just makes no sense to me. Like, and this whole story just doesn't make sense to me. I left my window open in the middle of winter. I admitted it right away. When I realized I left my window open, I admitted it right away. I phoned who I needed to phone. I got them to do what I needed them to do. They told me not to drive in Friday night. The 24-hour helpline told me not to drive in Friday night. And now there's just like holes after holes in their stories. Like, it just doesn't add up. I don't know what truly happened. I don't know, because my issue with this is I leave my window open every single night of winter. Why did it burst on the one night I wasn't home? Because I usually leave it open all day, all night, and then I'll close it when I get cold. Because I'm very warm-blooded. I am hot all the time. So tell me why. I left it open. If I was home, I would have had it open regardless. I would have had it open all weekend regardless. So why was it because I wasn't home? I personally, like, I don't know what they did, but they went into my apartment, turned the heat on when they weren't asked to. All they were asked to shut the fucking window. Like, I don't know what happened, but their story just doesn't add up. And as you can tell, it still frustrates me because I was just looking for the truth. And every person we talked to was different. Like, they just, I don't know. It was a whirlwind. Okay. Next date I have saved here is Thursday the 19th. So, I believe it's still March. Thursday, March 19th. My mom got a phone call from the leasing office saying they needed my signature, allowing them to go in, move my belongings around so that they could put the new carpet in. My mom phoned them back, I believe, the Friday. Oh, no. My mom said, oh, well, we were told the carpet was going in on Tuesday. So the 17th is what we were told. We went in the 15th and we were told the carpet was being put in the 17th. Because keep in mind, we are still paying for this apartment. I could have been living there. Like, I could have, like, my insurance would have put me up in a hotel, but I had a place to go. But they were taking their sweet ass time. We were told Tuesday. Obviously, sometimes things change, but Thursday is when they phoned to get permission. Where was the permission on Saturday? You turn the water off and then you phone us on Saturday, but that's not how you worked then. You turned the water off, you ripped the carpet out, you moved all my belongings. Like, what's the difference now? And my mom called them on that. My mom said, the carpet was supposed to go in on Tuesday. You guys already went in and moved all her furniture around without even phoning us, telling us the apartment was flooded. So why do we need to sign this now? Because keep in mind, my name and my mom's name is on the lease, but my dad paid for. My dad paid for my apartment. God bless. So she said that the lady on the phone, my mom said, started stuttering and acting nervous and like she was acting like she had something to hide. So she emailed my mom the contract, or the paper, and it was a paragraph long sentence. One full sentence, probably 5-6 lines, one sentence, which really irked my mom because my mom works with contracts all the time. That's part of her job, is contracts. We think that this paper was covering their ass for something. We think maybe they went into my apartment already, and keep in mind, I guess I should have prefaced this, they need 24-hour notice before entering my suite. That is law. That's law. Like, I'm pretty sure that is legal law. A landlord cannot enter your, how am I going to word this? A landlord cannot enter your property if you are renting it. Obviously, it's your property, your rented property, without 24-hour notice. Emergencies are completely different, but we just thought they went in already and they damaged something, so they were making us sign this to cover their ass. Does that make sense? Because it was basically like a liability thing. Like, you allow us to come in and move your furniture. We are not responsible if anything is damaged, blah, 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 blah. And so that's what we figured. Because when we went in Sunday, our couch was already wrecked. It had carpet dust on it. It had bits and pieces of carpets. They put all the soggy, wet things that were on the floor up onto my couch. So the couch had soggy, wet things sitting on it. It had bits and pieces of carpet. And because keep in mind, they moved everything but the couch. So my couch was still sitting on carpet, but they ripped the carpet out around the couch, which I don't get. If I inserted that video, you'll be able to see in that video what I'm talking about, but they literally did that later. I don't know what the fuck their problem was, but they ripped the carpet out around the couch. No rhyme or reason, but the couch was already, like, the couch was wrecked from them, not from the flood, or from their workers, not from the flood. So my first thought was, what if the girl, so I guess I didn't explain this. Pest control was supposed to come in on Monday. The guy who was working in my apartment Sunday, and we did as well, told the leasing lady not to let the pest control come into my apartment because it would not only wreck his work equipment, like he had big fans going to dry the place out, it would also wreck my belongings because, like, we had a strict list. Like I said, I'll link that video down below. We had a strict list and we were getting charged if we didn't prep properly. So my belongings would have got wrecked. His belongings would have got wrecked. We told her, do not let the pest control come in on Monday. What day was that? 16th? Monday the 16th. And we're wondering if she didn't listen and she sent them in anyway. Like, honestly, when we got sent that paper, we were like, they're trying to cover their ass for something. We were trying to figure it out, and, like, the pest control later came, like, that wasn't the issue, but that's what was going through my mind at the time. Okay, now I'll be looking at my phone because there's more dates coming up. I don't want to get them wrong. But yeah, my mom emailed them and said, we're not signing this until you fix this, this, and this, and this, and then we ended up signing a new copy or the same copy, I don't know, but it didn't matter because we went in, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Friday the 20th, my mom phoned them, and I don't remember what exactly happened, but we ended up moving my stuff out a week later. They still hadn't put the new carpet in, so it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks that apartment didn't have carpet. Imagine my insurance when they got the bill. Like, if this had happened, imagine my insurance got the bill for 2 weeks in a hotel. Like, I am so lucky my parents lived 2 hours away that I was able to stay at their place. But, like, 2 weeks, they didn't get carpet in that apartment. 2 weeks. It was, oh. They didn't even phone to get the carpet in until the 25th-ish, and then the carpet went in the 30th and 31st. That's literally 2 weeks, you guys. Like, that's so brutal. So a couple of points. They didn't cover any of the furniture, like I mentioned with the couch, but that is totally on the people they hired, like the people they hired to rip the carpet out and dry the place out, because their maintenance crew just did, like, damage control until that crew could get there. That's totally on them, not the company, but still. The day we went in to move all my stuff was the day before pest control. And the day before the new carpet went in. So I didn't have this date written down, but pest control was coming in the first day of the carpet. Don't know how that worked out, but because we weren't supposed to be in that apartment for the entire day, but they allowed the carpet people to come put new carpet in. Don't know how that works, but we went in the day before. So it must have been the 29th. I don't have the date written down, but it was the day before. My mom we were all so disgusted. My mom went down to the leasing office and just, like, complained with how disgusting they left my apartment. I'll insert the video because I'm sure I have a video of this as well. There was shit all in the bathtub because they were cleaning their tools in there. The toilet seat was left up and used, and it was, like, had, like, drywall shit in it. Like, it was just so disgusting. I'll insert the video. It was just ridiculously disgusting. But the leasing office then told my mom that a professional cleaner, very key here, professional cleaner is going to be cleaning our apartment. So I don't know if my insurance pays for that, but they were having a professional cleaner come in. But, like, another, just a side thing before I forget, they had thrown chunks of carpet over my balcony, and it was still there 2 weeks later. It was still there on the ground 2 weeks later. It is a terrible look for for the building because I was on their property. Like, this company is just, I'm not even going to say this company. This building was just so ridiculous and handled things so poorly. Okay, here's the fee. We were also supposed to get charged $125 if our apartment wasn't pest control ready. My parents said there was no way pest control could come in. In the state, they left my apartment because it was just so gross, and it would, I don't know what pest control does, but the way they left my apartment, nobody should have been allowed to work in there. And honest to God, they shouldn't have laid carpet down. Like, my dad was mortified when he found out that they were gonna lay carpet down in that dirt and grime and disgustingness. But they assured us that they've done it before. Not supposed, I don't know if that's supposed to make us feel better, but they've done it before. Literally, the day we left, we were talking about how they caused more damage than the actual flood did. Like, they broke the heat registers, they broke my closet door, they dirtied my couch and wrecked my couch. They broke more things and damaged more things than the actual flood did, which really shows their character. Another thing I could add was we had initially put in termination of our lease for the end of April. Like, we had put it in a move out notice for the end of April because I was supposed to be moving to Florida at the beginning of May. We fully knew that we were breaking our lease, and we fully knew we were going to be paying out our lease. They phoned me 3 times in the span of 2 days, maybe a day and a half, for the same freaking question. Are you still planning on moving out April 30th? When are you wanting to drop off your keys? Keep in mind, there's only about 4 people that work in this leasing office, and I received a phone call from 3 of them asking me the same shit within a span of 36 hours. Can you please communicate with each other and stop harassing me? So what we told them was, no, we're going to be holding on to the keys until you find somebody to rent our apartment, because my dad was paying for it regardless whether they had the keys or we had the keys. So we were like, I'm keeping the keys if my dad's paying for it. And they ended up showing people my suite. And they... it's ridiculous. They emailed my mom. Of course they never emailed me, even though I'm the person that lived there. They emailed my mom saying that the apartment was dirty. There was stuff in the tub. There was stuff on the entrance floor. There was fuzzies and stuff on the carpet. Keep in mind, I hadn't seen this new carpet. But for some reason, that was all my fault. Even though they had told us they were going to hire professional cleaners. Even though I didn't live there anymore. Even though I had never seen the new carpet before. It was my fault. It was my fault. And they asked my mom if we were planning on cleaning it, so that they could potentially, why did I just stutter? So that they could potentially close the deal on the next showing. So my mom called them on it, and she phoned them back and was like, we were told professional cleaners were going to be in there. She doesn't live there. She's never even seen the new carpet. So how is that her fault? And we were told that the dirt in the bathtub must be mine. It must be my mess. And that it's still my responsibility to clean it because this is my mess. And they never told us we were getting professional cleaners to clean your apartment. They never told us that, apparently. Like, I cannot fathom the unprofessionalism of this this building. Luckily, these people did end up taking our apartment for May 23rd. So my dad only paid 2 months of rent when I wasn't living there. But they ended up taking it for May 23rd, and more dates I'm reading right off my phone. May 11th, my mom talked to them and was told that anything that needs to be cleaned, because they dirtied it or the flood dirtied it, we didn't need to clean that. And this guy was very, very nice and even put it on paper so we had something to show if someone else tried to say otherwise. So we had an actual physical paper saying this now. And then May 12th, we get a call saying, does this move-in date still work for you guys? The 23rd, when those people wanted to move in. And then a call later that day saying that those people might not take our suite anymore, but that they have a meeting at 6 p.m. and they will let us know either way. They did end up taking our suite. So May 13th, we go in and clean the apartment, but with that guy saying that we didn't need to clean a bunch of different things. I'll maybe insert a video, I don't know if I still have it, but I'll insert a video if I do, of what we walked into, and we really didn't have to clean much because we didn't have to clean the walls, we didn't have to clean the floors, we didn't have to clean the bathtub, the toilet. Yeah, like we didn't clean a lot. And we did get all of we got all of the damage deposit back, which was $99. So everything was peachy and good. Everything did work out. Insurance paid for the new carpet and the labor and all my belongings. We got all of our damage deposit back. So it does have a happy ending. But comment down below if you think my apartment building was acting fishy, if you think they were acting like they were hiding something. Whose fault do you think this is? I fully take responsibility. I left the window open, which I guess caused the flood. I don't see how, and I don't see why it would flood the one time I wasn't home with the window open. So that still is fishy to me. But yes, I did leave the window open. I fully admit it. This flood was my fault, essentially. But yeah, that is it for today's video, you guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Like I said, please comment down below and let me know your thoughts and opinions. Was this building acting fishy? Am I just being dramatic? Let me know down below. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I hope you subscribe so you never miss a video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.